what is the mandatory need to make a CRM system loved, and that it is sexy enough that one male or female likes to spend the needed time with the system.
Well, let's get one thing straight, okay? CRM will never be sexy.
Okay, fair enough. It's work, so it can't be sexy as a wife.
It can't be sexy. But one of the things we asked about was how could it be better for you? And we surveyed 500 people who use CRM every day. And they told us that, there are systems that are not talking to one another that should. So, for example, CPQ, configure, price, and quote, doesn't talk to the SFA system, Salesforce Automation. So, as a consequence, we've got to produce a quote, and then we got to email it or hand it off to somebody and get them to approve it and come back. And what we discovered in processes like that was that salespeople, were ghosted. They all of a sudden couldn't get the customer to return a phone call. When they leave a message that says, "Okay, I got the quote now, or let me send it to you," or whatever. Let's talk about it some more. Nothing. And 42% said it's probably because a competitor got there faster with a viable quote, so they no longer needed it. So what does that tell us? Well, if things were better integrated, it would cut down on the amount of work, and it would cut down on the amount of money that we're leaving on the table. Why isn't that happening? It can happen today if you run out and get a new CRM suite. Unfortunately, and this is one of the things that told me we're dealing with very old systems. We're dealing with old systems that aren't connected, that aren't integrated, and that's one of the things that's causing so much heartburn for the people trying to use the products.
All the new weapons are designed to fight the last war. So if instead of just trying to make things better for salespeople today, what would you think the next flavor, the next iteration of CRM would look like, given the way things are changing?
Marshall, that's a really good point. In my world, I look at CRM and I think, well, we've started off CRM about 5 times in the last 20 years. We get the latest and greatest. We use it for a little while, and it doesn't break, but it doesn't work anymore for the business that we're in. In 2004, long time ago, I think it was before Twitter and Facebook. Okay, that was how long ago it was.
Yep. A year before, I think.
2004, I wrote a white paper for nobody. It was just a blue sky. Here's what I think. And it was called The New Garage. And it said, in the white paper, I said, we need to combine CRM data with artificial intelligence and machine learning and workflow and code generation and a few other things. And
15 years later.
Sounds familiar.
It's almost here.
Now we are there.
Almost.
Yes.
We still have to get people to use it. What's missing is adoption. And I really think that the next step in the evolution of CRM is cultural. I think culturally we need to get more involved with developing cultures of continuous improvement in our businesses. Too often we have cultures that say, okay, this is it, this is what we're doing. Let's go sell a bunch of these. If we had cultures of continuous improvement, number one, we'd be looking at our stack today and we'd say, oh, this is terrible. But we'd also be saying, if I had a platform-based CRM product, which is out there are several companies that have good platform-based products. I wouldn't have to worry about obsolescence of my systems. I'd simply go in and define a change to my system, my CRM system, and I would hit a button that says regenerate the code. and all of the AI and workflow and data and CPQ and whatever else you got would get generated appropriately, and the system would work. And all of a sudden, we would have a situation where the product, I want to get in the frame here, the product keeps getting better as time goes on. And we're just about there.